Okay, so now recording has been started. So first of all, good evening to all of you. And firstly, I would like to thank all of you that you have joined to listen this lecture. And here today, what we are going to discuss in this lecture is we shall imply the utilization of solubilizing power of solids to increase the solubility of poorly water soluble drug to carry out UV spectrophotometric analysis of say tablets or capsules, etc. This means what we are going to do, we want to minimize the use of harmful organic solvent which are particularly employed for UV spectrophotometric analysis of tablets or capsules of poorly water soluble drugs. Okay, I will give the example in my lecture now. So before that, we should understand how these solids can help in UV spectrophotometric analysis of drugs. As I have started a new concept of solubilization in the year 2009 by name mixed solvency concept. The first parameter of mixed solvency concept is each and everything present on this earth has got solubilizing power. Each and everything means whether the substance is gas, whether the substance is liquid, whether the substance is solid. Means each and every molecules present in this universe has got solubilizing power. Only thing to demonstrate its solubilizing power, there is need that the molecules of that substance should be in liquid state. For example, if we say that gases have got solubilizing power, means the molecules of gas should be in liquid state, either by liquefaction or by dissolution in a solvent. Then it can demonstrate its solubilizing power due to hydrogen bonding, weak van der Waals forces with the molecules of solute. Similarly, the solids, they also possess solubilizing power, but only thing is the molecules of solids should be in liquid state. For example, the molecules of a solid may come in liquid state by melting. For example, melted urea at 132 degrees centigrade, which is the melting point of urea. At this melted condition of urea, it is good solvent for diclofenac sodium. We are not making any formulation of diclofenac sodium, okay. But what I want to tell you, the proof that solids have got solubilizing power. So melted urea, the molecules of urea are there in liquid state, and they are responsible for hydrogen bonding and weak van der Waals forces with the molecules of diclofenac sodium, and hence there is very good solubility of diclofenac sodium in melted urea. Now another way by which the molecules of solid may come in liquid state is by dissolution in a solvent. For example, hydrotropy. 100 years old concept. Hydrotropy means if you dissolve sodium benzoate in water, concentrated solution, it increases the solubility of so many poorly water soluble drugs. So what happened here? The molecules of sodium benzoate or another hydrotropic is you say the urea solution in water. These molecules are available in liquid state, and they are responsible for hydrogen bonding and weak van der Waals forces with the molecules of solutes to increase their solubility. So this was second way. Number third way by which the molecules of a solid may come in liquid state is by eutectic formation. For example, if two solids are triturated together and if they liquefy to give a eutectic liquid like menthol thiamol, menthol camphor, thiamol camphor, and so on and so forth, then the molecules of solids come in liquid state, and now they can also be involved in hydrogen bonding and weak van der Waals forces with the molecules of solutes. So this is the basic idea, means of dissolution with the help of solids. Means solids can also act as solvent, but only thing they should be in liquid state. Means molecules of solids should be in liquid state. This is the only thing. Okay. So now I am starting the presentation now. And till that time, I would like to tell all of you that please keep your questions ready. After stopping this recording, then I will come to you to discuss the various these questions, and all means all the clarification will be done. Answers of questions shall be done. Now this is very first slide of today's lecture. Eco-friendly lecture series 1. Topic is eco-friendly and economic UV spectrophotometric analysis of poorly water-soluble drugs by application of hydrotropy, mixed hydrotropy, and mixed solvency concept without the involvement of organic solvents. And my details are myself, Dr. R.K. Maheshwari. I'm professor in the Department of Pharmacy, Sri GS Institute of Technology and Science, 23 Park Road, Indore, Madhya Pradesh, India. So these are the details. And of course, this is my WhatsApp number. +91 940662197. Those who want to join with me on WhatsApp, they can note down this mobile number, WhatsApp number. Email ID is rkrkmaheshwari@yahoo.co.in. So this is the means email of myself. Okay. And of course, there is one website, www.rkmaheshwari.com. On this also, there's so much matter on hydrotropy, mixed hydrotropy, and mixed solvency concept. Now coming to another slide now. Now we have to see something about the organic solvents. There are drawbacks and classes of organic solvents. So I am coming to this slide. Now here you see the drawbacks of organic solvents. By single exposure, there are so many dermatitis, headache, and so on and so forth. The students, they are joining. So anyway, this okay. This is the problem actually, because I am the host, so I have to do all these things. Anyway, organic solvents have numerous adverse effects caused by single exposure, like dermatitis, headache, drowsiness, nausea, eye irritation, etc. Long-term exposure of organic solvents, it includes neurological disorders, chronic renal failure, liver damage, neurosis, mutagens, etc. Not only they are harmful for human being, but also they are costly. Okay, and their disposal requires a special treatment after they are used. When they are thrown away, then their means a particular treatment is given. Now, so briefly, some idea about the class 1 organic solvent. These, they are toxic most. They are very harmful to the human being and animals. Of course, for example, benzene is carcinogenic, carbon tetrachloride is very hazardous. Class 2 organic solvent, most of the organic solvents involved in analysis, they are from class 2 organic solvent, including this acetonitrile, chloroform, toluene, methanol, pyridine, hexane, dimethyl formamide, etc. So these organic solvents are also very harmful to human being, means they are vapors, they are very harmful. So these class 2 organic solvents, of course, they are harmful, but they are class 1 organic solvents are most harmful. Anyway, now class 3 organic solvents, they are relatively safer. Out of all 1, 2, 3 classes, class 3 are the safest most. Okay, now, so, but then also they are harmful. And the commonly employed class 3 organic solvent include acetic acid, acetone, ethanol, ethyl acetate, etc. So what I want to tell you, most of the organic solvents for analysis, they are involved in this, in the UV spectrophotometric analysis and all that. Okay, so now coming to another slide now. This is hydrotropic solubilization. Since our lecture is based on hydrotropic solubilization, so those who are new, they should understand what is hydrotropic solubilization. Okay, so now you see, I would like to define the term hydrotropic solubilization, which is 100 years old concept. Hydro means water. Hydro means water. So this hydrotropic solubilization is one of the method of increasing the solubility of poorly water soluble drug in water. Okay, now this is 100 years old concept. I told you some few examples. Sodium citrate concentrated solution, 45% weight by volume, increases the solubility of salicylic acid about 50-fold. There is 50-fold enhancement in the solubility of salicylic acid as compared to its solubility in water. Similarly, sodium benzoate solution, a concentrated solution, for example, 30%, 35%, if you imply, it increases the solubility of so many poorly water soluble drug like tinidazole, metronidazole, gatifloxacin, arnidazole, and so on and so forth. So in this way, we see similarly the niacinamide. Niacinamide also increases the solubility of so many drugs. Means niacinamide solution. Okay, now here. Urea. Urea, if you make a concentrated solution of urea, say about 50% weight by volume, this also increases the solubility of a large number of poorly water soluble drugs like paracetamol, diclofenac sodium, gadifloxacin, tinidazole, etc. Okay, so these are some of the hydrotropic agents. Okay, now how do we define this term hydrotropic solubilization? When there is enhancement in the aqueous solubility of a poorly water soluble drug in the presence of a large concentration of an agent, means hydrotropic agent, then we call this concept, means technique, to be hydrotropic solubilization technique. Okay, I told you this is 100 years old concept. So this is the definition. Now you may see some of the examples. Now you see the solubility of ibuprofen in distilled water is 0.028%, poorly water soluble drug. If we imply 2 molar sodium benzoate solution, 2 molar means 28.8%. You may assume it to be 30% weight by volume solution of sodium benzoate in water. The solubility of ibuprofen is 2.390%. There is 85-fold solubility enhancement due to the presence of sodium benzoate in water in dissolved condition. Molecules of sodium benzoate are there which are capable of making hydrogen bond, weak van der Waals forces with the molecules of ibuprofen. So this is the simple theory or simple mechanism of hydrotropic solubilization. Aspirin, distilled water solubility is this one, poorly water soluble. 4 molar sodium acetate means 33% sodium acetate solution. This is the solubility. 56 times solubility enhancement. 1.25 molar sodium citrate means 40% sodium citrate solution in water. Solubility is this one, 36 times solubility enhancement. 2 molar sodium benzoate means 28.8%. This is the solubility, like this. So there are so many examples. Okay, just I am going to slide these slides so that you can see there is a vast list. Those who want this PPT, they can ask me, I can send it to them. Now coming to this another slide now. So this was up to this time, it was hydrotropic solubilization definition and all that. Now coming to now PPT presentation for hydrotropic method for tinidazole. Now this way, one more thing you will please listen. The cost of 30% sodium benzoate solution, which is a hydrotropic solution, means in aqueous solution of 30% sodium benzoate solution, the cost is about rupees 40 per liter as per Indian currency. Okay, now we have to go to see something, means why we are going to discuss the hydrotropic method, because in pharmacopoeias they are using harmful organic solvent. For example, I would like to discuss the example of tinidazole tablets. In Indian pharmacopoeia and British pharmacopoeia, they are using methanol for the estimation of tinidazole tablet. Okay, methanol is a class 2 organic solvent. Tinidazole is poorly water soluble drug. That's why they are supposed to use some organic solvent. So in pharmacopoeia they are implying methanol. You see now, whey tablet powder equivalent to 50 milligram of 50 milligram, 50 milligram of tinidazole. Add 20 ml of 30% aqueous sodium benzoate solution and shake for 10 minutes in a 25 ml volumetric flask. So what you have done, you have taken a 25 ml volumetric flask, 20 ml of, sorry, this is eco-friendly method. First we should see Indian pharmacopoeia method. Sorry, whey tablet powder equivalent to 2.15 gram of tinidazole as per Indian pharmacopoeia 2018. Now we have to add 20 ml of methanol, class 2 organic solvent, and shaking is done in a 100 ml volumetric flask. So this is the pharmacopoeia method. Now during this shaking, methanol dissolves tinidazole because methanol is a good solvent for tinidazole. After waking up the volume up to 100 ml with methanol, now you will have to filter it to remove methanol soluble additives of tablets. Now after filtration, 10 ml of the filtrate is diluted up to 10 ml with methanol, means further dilution with methanol. Then again from this 10 ml is taken and it is diluted up to 100 ml with methanol, and then absorbance is noted at 310 nm against methanol. Okay, so this is the pharmacopoeia method which implies methanol. Calculate the content of tinidazole taking 356 as the specific absorbance at 310 nm. In methanol, the peak of tinidazole comes at 310 nm, 310 nm. Okay, now this methanol can be substituted by sodium benzoate solution in eco-friendly analysis. So this is the eco-friendly method, means using hydrotropic method. Weigh tablet powder equivalent to 50 milligram of tinidazole, add 20 ml of 30% aqueous sodium benzoate solution and shake for 10 minutes in a 25 ml volumetric flask. So you are shaking this tablet powder with 20 ml of 30% sodium benzoate solution in a 25 ml volumetric flask. After 10 minutes shaking, during this time, the tinidazole present in the tablet powder is dissolved by sodium benzoate solution due to hydrotropic solubilization, or in other words, you may say due to hydrogen bonding weak bonding forces between the molecules of sodium benzoate and molecules of this tinidazole, like this. Okay, then after 10 minutes shaking, make the volume up to 25 ml with distilled water. Now here, once you employ this hydrotropic solution, afterwards for dilution, you are not going to imply the hydrotropic solution. Okay, so we are implying for dilution always afterwards we are implying water as the diluent. So after this, you have to make up the volume with distilled water up to 25 ml. Okay, now dilute and of course and filter to remove water soluble excipients, or you may say sodium benzoate solution, insoluble type of active ingredient of this tablet. Dilute 1 ml of filtrate up to 100 ml with distilled water. Okay, then measure the absorbance at 318 nm. Now in aqueous system, in aqueous solutions, the peak of tinidazole comes at 318 nm. But in methanol, it was 310 nm. But here, due to change in solvent, the peak gets shifted. So the peak comes at 318 nm. So what you are doing? You are measuring the absorbance against reagent blank. Reagent blank, how it will be made? Let me explain to you. Now you see, reagent blank means reagent blank contains only sodium benzoate in the amount which is present together with the drug in the sample solution of drug. For example, here for making a reagent blank, what you will do? You will imply 20 ml of 30% sodium benzoate solution. You will keep in a 25 ml volumetric flask, then dilute up to 25 ml with water. Okay, and then you will take 1 ml and dilute up to 100 ml with distilled water. So this solution is known as reagent blank for your sample solution, because this solution contains the same amount of sodium benzoate which is present in your sample solution where drug is also there. When you will keep this sample solution of drug in this first cuvette, and in reference cuvette you will put reagent blank and you will measure the absorbance, there will be neutralization of the effect due to sodium benzoate, because in both cuvettes the same amount of sodium benzoate is present. One more thing, sodium benzoate does not interfere above 300 nm. If you make a solution of sodium benzoate in water, say for example 2000 microgram per ml solution of sodium benzoate in water, and if this solution is kept in the sample cuvette, and in reference cuvette if you put water, and if you scan it between 200 to 400 nm, you will find that there is end of the absorbance of the sodium benzoate solution at about 292 nm. This means above 292 nm, sodium benzoate does not show its absorbance. Okay, I told in my research paper that if the peak of your drug is above 300 nm, you can imply this sodium benzoate solution for your estimation of your drug, if sodium benzoate solution increases the solubility of your drug. Okay, so up to this time what I told you, that above 300 nm there is no interference of sodium benzoate. That's why now whatever the absorbance you are noting at 318 nm, it will be due to drug, not due to sodium benzoate. Okay, so 1 ml diluted up to 100 ml with distilled water, and this then solution is kept in sample cuvette, and measure the absorbance of this against reagent blank, which I explained to you. Okay, now how to get the drug content of your tablet? Calculate the content from the absorbance obtained by repeating the whole procedure using 50 milligram tinidazole reference substance in place of tablet powder. Means what you have to do, as in pharmacopoeia, you find such types of procedures. So same procedure. You take 50 milligram tinidazole in place of tablet powder. You will keep the pure sample of tinidazole of known strength. For example, it contains 99.1% tinidazole, 99.4%, whatever it is. Based on that, you will put 50 milligram of this tinidazole bulk drug API in your 25 ml volumetric flask. You will add 20 ml of this 30% sodium benzoate solution. Then you will dissolve it. It will go in solution. You will get now a clear solution because there is no insoluble tablet excipient, only drug was there. So a clear solution will be made. Okay, and then you will make up the volume up to 25 ml with distilled water. Okay, so after that, then this second one, this happens. Okay, eco-friendly, and now this is the third. Okay, so here, then what I told you that 30%. Okay, for this and for repeating that with pure drug, you will do the same, and you will find out the absorbance against the reagent blank. So now by comparison between these two absorbances from pure drug and from tablet powder, you can calculate the quantity of tinidazole present in the tablet powder or in the per tablet. So in this way, so what you have done here, we have replaced a class 2 organic solvent methanol by a hydrotropic solution of sodium benzoate. Okay, so this is the beauty of this lecture, you may say, or the hydrotropy. Now coming to now how to do. Now one example I would like to give in detail so that the students who are present in this lecture or who shall listen this lecture afterwards, they can understand how to proceed and all that. Okay, the simplicity means how can they find the simple method for using this hydrotropic solubilization. So firstly, I would like to give the details of tinidazole tablet estimation using hydrotropic solution. Of course, in this case, we are not using sodium benzoate, we are using urea solution as hydrotropic agent, because urea also does not interfere above 240 nm. Urea does not interfere above 240 nm. Here we are going to imply the solvent character of urea solution for spectrophotometric analysis of this tinidazole tablet. Now, no involvement of organic solvent. Now, take 50 milligram tinidazole. Firstly, we will make the calibration curve. So take 50 milligram tinidazole API of known strength in a 50 ml volumetric flask and add 30 ml of aqueous solution containing 48% weight by volume urea. Means you have to add 30 ml of urea solution of strength 48% weight by volume in water, and the flask to dissolve it. Okay, so you will have to shake the flask. Okay, solution containing this, and shake the flask to dissolve it. When you get a clear solution, then when the dissolution is complete, add sufficient distilled water to make up the volume up to 50 ml to get 1000 microgram per ml solution. So it is represented by T, means tinidazole, 1000 means 1000 microgram per ml. So again I am repeating, 50 ml volumetric flask, 50 milligram tinidazole API of known concentration, 30 ml of aqueous solution of urea of 48% weight by volume strength, and then shake the flask to dissolve it to get a clear solution. When clear solution is obtained, then add sufficient distilled water. Now you are adding water for dilution, not the urea solution. Please mind it well. So, and sufficient distilled water is added to make up the volume up to 50 ml to get 1000 microgram per ml, because you see 50 milligram is present in 50 ml. So 1 milligram per ml means 1000 μg per ml. Now after this, dilute, so means this T1000 is the stock solution. From this stock solution you will prepare the standard solutions. For example, number 2, dilute 0.5 ml of this T1000 solution up to 100 ml with distilled water to get 5 microgram per ml solution. So in this way, one standard solution of 5 microgram per ml you are going to prepare. Okay, it will be diluted up to 100 ml with distilled. Now another, dilute 1 ml of this solution up to 100 ml with distilled water to get 10 microgram per ml standard solution. Okay. Similarly, you prepare T15, T20 and T25. So 5 standard solution, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25 you have made. Now coming to see about the reagent blank. How will you make the reagent blank? Because 5 standard solutions are there, so you will require 5 respective reagent blanks. So how to make these? In order to prepare reagent blanks, firstly 20 ml aqueous solution containing 48% urea is diluted. You see there is a mistake here, it should be 30 ml. Please mind it well. This is 30 ml. So 30 ml of aqueous solution of 48% weight by volume urea is diluted up to 50 ml with distilled water to get a stock solution. Okay, you have made in the same way. You have made a stock solution of this urea, you may say. Now then 0.5 ml of B, now this is known as B, is diluted up to 100 ml with distilled water to give reagent blank. So this will be denoted as blank 5. Blank 5 means this reagent blank will be utilized for standard solution containing 5 microgram per ml of drug tinidazole. Okay. Now similarly you will make 1 ml dilution, you will do up to 100 ml. So you will make blank 10. Similarly, blank 15, blank 20, blank 25 they will be made. So you have made 5 respective reagent blanks. Now what to do? Now baseline correction is done using distilled water from 200 nm to 400 nm. Since your solvent is water, so baseline correction will be with water. As in case of methanol, you do baseline correction with methanol. Here, since your solvent is water, so solvent water will be used for the baseline correction. Okay. Now, so after this baseline correction, measure the absorbance of T5. T5 means standard solution containing 5 microgram per ml of drug against blank. Okay, reagent blank. Okay, and you measure the absorbance at 318 nm. Similarly, measure the absorbance of T10 against blank 10 like this. So in this way, 5 absorbances you have noted. Now above absorbances are used to obtain the calibration curve. Now using these 5 absorbances, you can plot the calibration curve to get the regression equation. Okay, after this, now what will be the procedure for the tablets? In this way, you have up to this time what you have done, you have prepared the calibration curve of your drug. You have got a regression equation curve. Now how to utilize, how to carry out this work? Proposed method of analysis of tinidazole. Okay, how now again the procedure is same way. 20 tablets of marketed tablets of tinidazole and determine the average weight. Okay, then with the help of pestle mortar, crush the tablets to get a fine powder. One thing I would like to suggest to you, that better to sieve this powder through a fine sieve, so that there is no grittiness, so that you will get 100% correct results. So fine sieve can be utilized, say 60 mesh sieve or better 100 mesh sieve is better. So I have not written here, but you can sieve it out, this tablet powder. Now take tablet powder equivalent to 50 milligram of tinidazole in a 50 ml volumetric flask and transfer 30 ml of aqueous solution containing 48% weight by volume urea and shake the flask vigorously for 10 minutes to solubilize the tinidazole present in tablet powder. So what you have done, depending on the average weight, you will calculate the quantity of tablet powder which contains 50 milligram of tinidazole. So that powder amount is transferred in a 50 ml volumetric flask. Then you will add 30 ml of the 30 ml of aqueous solution containing 48% urea solution, hydrotropic solution. Okay, then you will do the shaking. Then make up, you see, then 10 minutes shaking is done, so that during this 10 minutes shaking, the tinidazole present in the tablet powder comes in the solution due to hydrotropic solubilization, or you may say in other words, since the molecules of urea are available in liquid state and they can be involved in hydrogen bonding and weak van der Waals forces with the molecules of tinidazole, and hence there is dissolution. So okay, then then make up the volume up to 50 ml. Now you have to make up the volume up to 50 ml with distilled water. Now filter the solution to remove water insoluble tablet excipients. Then filtrate, dilute 1 ml of the filtrate up to 50 ml with distilled water and find out the absorbance of this solution at 318 nm against blank 20, because this solution will be of strength 20 microgram per ml. That's why you will employ blank 20 to keep in the reference cuvette, and then measure the absorbance at 318 nm. Now determine the drug content using calibration curve, which you have made already, means regression equation curve you have got, a regression equation you have got. So using that, you can determine the drug content of tendazole tablet. So you listen to me, what you have done using urea as hydrotopic solution, no organic solvent is there. You have determined the drug content of tendazole tablet without the use of any organic solvent. In pharmacopil method, we have discussed methanol. So you have replaced a class 2 organic solvent by a safe urea solution. Okay, so in this way, 100% correct results are there. You can also do yourself, no problem. A large number of papers have been published on hydrotopic solubilization. Okay, now coming to how will you proceed, that we have to see. Now this method I have given you in detail. Now I would like to explain to you that if you want to carry out the analysis of tablets or capsules of any poorly water soluble drug using UV spectrophotometric method, how will you proceed, or how should you start this work? Now, how to proceed for UV spectrophotometric analysis of a poorly soluble drugs having a peak above 300? Suppose this should be known to you that in aqueous solution, what is the peak? Means at what wavelength the peak of drug is there. If the peak of drug is above 300 nm, then sodium benzoate can nicely be implied. Niacinamide can also be implied. Niacinamide also does not interfere above 300 nm. Okay, so suppose you are knowing a drug D which is insoluble in water, okay, and you want to carry out its UV analysis without any organic solvent. So you will have to check the solubility of this drug D in sodium benzoate solution or niacinamide solution or mixed hydrotropic solution. Then you can proceed for your UV spectrophotometer analysis. So okay, now you may prepare following hydrotropic solution. Means by trial and error, just you will have to make some of the hydrotropic solutions or mixed hydrotropic solution. For example, I would like to suggest 30% sodium benzoate solution can be prepared. 30% niacinamide solution can be prepared. Means one of the solution you will try. I will tell you how to carry out this work. Okay, now you may use a mixed hydrotropic blend containing 15% sodium benzoate and 15% niacinamide. This NM is niacinamide, okay, SV is sodium benzoate. You can employ 20% sodium benzoate and 20% NM solution. One thing more is the concentration of hydrotropic agent, more is the solubility. For example, if we compare the solubility in this blend and in this blend, means 15 15 total 30, 20 20 total 40. Here you will get more solubility of your drug. Okay, more is the concentration of hydrotropic agent, more is the solubility. Okay, then you can make 20% sodium benzoate, 20% urea. Okay, 20% sodium benzoate, 20% sodium citrate. These all are hydrotropic agents. 20% sodium benzoate, 20% sodium acetate. Total 40% strength and all that. Now, suppose you have prepared 7 solutions. Okay, now what to do? Now, note, sodium benzoate and niacinamide do not interfere above 300 nm. This I have told you. For example, 30% sodium benzoate solution can be successfully employed. These I am giving some example to you. Employed to analyze the tablets of metronidazole at 320 nm. These papers have been published. Furosemide has been estimated at 333 nm. Naproxen at 317 nm. Also, naproxen at 331 nm. There are 4 peaks of this naproxen. Above 300, there are 2 peaks, 317 and 331. So on both peaks, you can use this. Means 2 types of calibration curve you will have to prepare. Okay, like this. Now coming to norfloxacin at 3 to 4 nm, nalidixic acid at 330 nm, indomethacin at 320 nm. Anyway, now coming to how to find out which hydrotropic solution will be better for your drug. So how to proceed with a new drug which has at least one peak above 300 nm in water. So transfer 20 milligram drug, 20 milligram drug, pure drug, in a volumetric flask of 10 ml capacity, 10 ml capacity volumetric flask. Add 2 ml of any of above blend. Suppose you are implying first number blend means 30% sodium benzoate solution. So you are adding 2 ml of 30% sodium benzoate solution in 10 ml volumetric flask. And you are shaking it briskly for about 20 minutes. And what you are going to observe whether you get a clear solution or not. If a clear solution is obtained, the selected blend can be used for UV spectrophotometric analysis of solid dosage form of this drug. Then you can do. However, if a clear solution is not obtained, for example, suppose you have taken 20 milligram drug, 2 ml of sodium benzoate solution, and 20 minutes shaking was done, but there is no clear solution. This means this solution cannot be used for your drug. Okay, so you will have to discard this solution. Now you will take another like this, then second, third. In this way you can proceed. Okay, when you get solubility 20 milligram per 2 ml, then it is good for UV spectrophotometric analysis. Now once you get an appropriate blend solution where the solubility of drug in this blend is at least 20 milligram 2 ml, at least 20 milligram, it may be more than also, but 20 milli, this should be at least the solubility, then transfer 50 milligram drug API. Now this is the procedure for making calibration curve. You have decided that this blend or this hydrotropic solution or mixed hydrotropic solution is good for analysis. So what to do now? Now you have to transfer 50 milligram of drug, pure drug, in a 50 ml volumetric flask and add 30 ml of the selected blend solution. Shake the flask vigorously for about 20 minutes to get a clear solution. When you get a clear solution, now dilution will be with water. Okay, then make up the volume up to 50 ml with water to get a stock solution containing 1000 microgram per ml of drug. Then make 5 standard solutions, okay, as per Beer-Lambert range. As per Beer-Lambert range means whether they are 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, whether they are 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, like this means, like this means Beer-Lambert range means where the absorbances of the standard solutions, they are in between, you may say more or less 0.2 to 1.5 or 1.8, like this, in between this. So in this way you will have to select whether you have to make 5, 10, 15 or 2, 4, 5, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, like this, depending on the drug. You will have to select these 5 standard solutions. Okay, and then you will make 5 reagent blanks, just as I have explained in case of tenodazole tablet estimation. Okay, then make up the volume up to 50 ml with, to give 1000 microgram per ml drug solution. Then make 5 standard solutions as per Beer-Lambert range and 5 respective reagent blank solutions, and note the absorbances at peak above 300 nm. Whatever the peak of drug is there above 300 nm, that peak is to be implied because sodium benzoate is here, otherwise it will interfere. So not below 300 nm, please try to avoid. Okay, so only the on the wavelength above 300 nm should be selected for your drug. Okay, so you have noted the absorbances of standard solutions against respect to reagent blanks. We have learned this how to make the respect to reagent blanks. Okay, now coming to using these absorbances of 5 standard solutions, plot the calibration curve to obtain regression equation, which shall be used to determine the drug content in tablets and capsules of the drug. Follow the method described in essay of tenodazole tablets mentioned earlier, that you have to follow. In that way you have to proceed. Thus, without the use of organic solvents, hydrotropic solutions can be employed for UV spectrophotometric analysis of tablets, capsules of poorly water soluble drug. So in this way you can perform your own research. for UV spectrophotometric analysis. Without the use of organic solvent, you can perform the UV spectrophotometric analysis. Now, how to proceed for UV spectrophotometric analysis of poorly water soluble drugs having a peak above 240 nm? Previously, we have discussed above 300 nm. Now, since we are going to use urea, sodium acetate, sodium benzoate, urea, sodium acetate, sodium citrate, which do not interfere above 240 nm. So now we shall discuss the UV spectrophotometric method for those drugs, for those poorly water soluble drugs, which have at least one peak above 240 nm. You may prepare following hydrotropic solutions. This I am suggesting to you. Although you can prepare your own also. For example, I am suggesting 40% sodium citrate solution. You may prepare 35% solution also. You may prepare 30% solution also. Okay, but one thing will be there. If you will prepare 30%, it will have less solubility of your drug anyway. Now, but also you cannot prepare 60% sodium benzoate sodium citrate solution, because it does not have so much solubility that you can prepare 60%. So anyway, but 40% you can make. So 40% sodium citrate solution, or you can, the second solution, you can prepare 40% sodium acetate. In the same way, 50% urea solution, 25% sodium citrate, 25% urea. Okay, then 25% sodium, like this. So in this way, suppose we have made 7 solutions. Now you will have to check the solubility of your drug, which has got peak above 240 nm in water for that drug. Okay, how to proceed? Note, sodium citrate, urea, and sodium acetate do not interfere above 240 nm. For example, such hydrotropic solutions can nicely be employed for UV spectrophotometric analysis of tablets of paracetamol at 244 nm, which is more than 240, diclofenac sodium at 276 nm, which is more than this 240, gutifloxacin at 333 nm, tinidazole at 317 nm. Okay, hydrochlorothiazide 272 nm, hydrochlorothiazide at 317 nm also, because hydrochlorothiazide had 2 peaks in water at 272 and 317. So for both peaks you can make 2 regression equation, and then you can perform the estimation. One more thing here I would like to tell you. You see now here, this diclofenac sodium, the tablets of diclofenac sodium are estimated by use of methanol in Indian pharmacopoeia method or British pharmacopoeia method. Okay, are you following me? Methanol, class 2 organic solvent, harmful organic solvent, is employed for the estimation of diclofenac sodium tablet by UV method. Okay, but I have replaced that by urea solution. Similarly, atenolol tablet, they also employ methanol for its estimation using UV spectrophotometry. I have used this urea. Means these are the examples I am telling you. How can you minimize the use of harmful organic solvent like this? Now, how to proceed with a new drug which has at least one peak above 240 nm? Again, in the same way as in case of drug having more than 300 nm peak, in the same way, now the drug having more than 240 nm, transfer 20 milligram drug API in a volumetric flask of 10 ml capacity. Add 2 ml of the solution, which 7 solution you have prepared, 7 solutions. Okay, now you take one of them, you check the solubility of your drug, pure drug. So 20 milligram drug, 2 ml of the solution in 10 ml volumetric flask, shake it for 20 minutes. If you get a clear solution, this means this solution can be employed for UV spectrophotometric analysis of that drug, of the tablet and capsule and all that. If a clear solution is obtained, the selected blend can be used for UV spectrophotometric analysis of solid dosage form of this drug. However, if a clear solution is not obtained, so discard this blend and try another blend. So discard it, you take another one and again check the solubility. When you get a clear solution, that blend will be selected like this. Once you get an appropriate blend solution, solubility of drug in this blend at least 20 milligram per 2 ml, then transfer 50 milligram of drug, means API. Now we have to make a calculation curve in a 50 ml volumetric flask and add 30 ml of this selected blend solution. Shake the flask vigorously for about 20 minutes to get a clear solution. Then make up the volume up to 50 ml with water to get a stock solution containing 1000 mg per ml of drug. Then make 5 standard solutions as per Beer-Lambert range. Okay. uh, and 5 respective reagent blank as I have explained in case of tinidazole tablet estimation. Okay, then you note down the absorbances at peak above 240 nm. At above 240 nm peak, you will have to note the absorbances of these 5 standard solutions against 5 respective reagent blank. 5, 5, 5, 10, 10, like this, and in this way. Using these absorbances, plot the calibration curve to obtain regression equation, okay, which shall be used to determine the drug content in tablet capsule. Follow the method described in the tinidazole tablet. Okay, thus, without the use of organic solvents, hydrotropic solutions can be nicely employed for UV spectrophotometric analysis of tablet capsules of only water soluble drugs. Okay, in this way, you can proceed your research work, and there are some B Pharm students also in this lecture, so they can do project on this. Now, something to know about the some information, means last 2-3 minutes, just some information I want to give you. Information of review article on hydrotropy updated up to December 2020 has been published. So the title is this one. This is online, is available online on Google search. Yasi Thakur and myself, these are the authors. A review article with the name Eco-Friendly and Economic Analytical Methods Using Hydrotropic Solubilization, Titration, UV Spectrophotometry, TLC and HPLC. Okay, so this is there. So this can also be can be seen by you, so that some idea will come from that also. Of course, now UV spectrophotometric analysis using hydrotropy is not only available in means in India published paper, but also abroad they are there. Okay, so anyway, now any book which gives a matter on hydrotropy and mixed hydrotropy and mixed solvency concept is this recently published book, The Future of Pharmaceutical Product Development and Research, edited by Dr. Rakesh Tekade. Okay, now this is a Elsevier book. Chapter 5 of this book contains a chapter on hydrotropy, mixed hydrotropy and mixed solvency as trending concept for solubilization of lipophilic drugs. The authors of this chapter 5, they are Anirudh Padeyar, Om Prakash Agrawal, Kuldeep Rajput and Rakesh Tekade. So this was the information. Now I am going to end this lecture. Okay, then I will come to you. Let me stop this. Then I will come to you for any question answer. Now I have stopped this